Hello scholars, welcome back to the Kemet Maasai Academy. We are continuing our series of motivational videos for students, and as usual I'm reading from the Students Master Plan, Hardcore Rules for a Lifetime of Success. So the topic I'm looking at now is oration. No one at all hates to read out loud more than teenagers. I love to have my students read out loud for the fun of seeing them moan and writhe, as well as for the fact that there is benefit to hearing the word as opposed to just seeing it on paper. Different people learn in different ways. The average teenager will usually mutter and mumble, and until you get to the bottom of things, you'll swear they don't know how to read at all. Some of them really don't, but most just don't know how to read out loud. My educational foundation is based on the principles outlined by Marcus Garvey, the Grand Orator. So naturally, oral reading is stressed in my class. Elocution, the skill of clear and expressive speech, distinct pronunciation, and articulation. How do you develop this great skill? Be not afraid, it's only your classmates, the very same ones that you make raucous noise with during break and after class. The very same ones, your peers. You all can be heard from down the hall, with the doors closed when the teacher is not in the classroom. So, with the same enunciation and clarity, just this time saying something constructive. Throwing shade, so I'm throwing shade on your conversations that you have when the doors are closed and you're with your peers. I'm throwing shade, saying that it's not constructive. Is that correct? So you would need to tell me, when you're with your peers, do you talk about things that are constructive? Let me know. If you have to stand and read in front of the class for starts, keep your eyes focused on the words on the page and not on the eyes that are focused on you. As your confidence builds, raise your head occasionally and look at the wall at the back of the room. Your confidence will build even more. Then you may try the dreaded eye contact. I have found my students to be more receptive to group reading in small groups of 2s, 3s, and 4s, as opposed to individual oral presentation. They find a kind of comfort in the shared humiliation. And some students really feel it's a kind of humiliation, especially the teenagers. When you ask them to read, they freeze, you know. And these are children who are articulate otherwise. They express themselves well on paper, some of them, but when it's time for them to just read, they have an issue. It's harder to pick up blunders and identify individual weaknesses when you're reading as a group, right? But it is a start. So if you have, this is for teachers now, if you have students who, they really struggle with being able to read out loud, you can start them off with group reading. Now there are little setbacks with group reading. It can be very tedious because what you often find is that, you will have one or two readers who are very confident and they know they can read. Some might even love to read, avid readers. And also some just want to show off, just to say, I'm a great reader, I can read fast. It's like they think it's a race. And so no matter how you say, okay, I need you to pick up get a feel of the mode that the group is at and stay together. I want you to try to just get a hang of, how the group can move together, synchronize the reading. No matter how you say that, some will just always want to read ahead because they want to show up the others. They want to prove that they are great readers. So they're way ahead, and then you hear the others lagging behind. Now, you will have students who they literally read one word at a time. And you see the eyes rolling, the other students who are great at reading, you see them rolling their eyes. It's like they're saying, oh no, not him again. Sometimes when we're doing reading and I pick on particular students to read, you literally see them saying, not again. Are we going to have to endure this again? So what I tried to pair up, the slower readers with each other, the faster readers with each other. But at the same time, sometimes I mix them because I want the fast ones to kind of inspire the others to keep up so they can learn to read faster as well. So whenever I do that, you literally see the agony on the faces of the faster readers. Miss, And what I do, like if they're really slow, I'll give them shorter passages to read, right? And the fast ones and the ones who read really well, I give them the longer passages. But again, sometimes you have to give the slow ones the longer passages because you want to encourage them to read faster and to cover, a better length of article each time. You want them to keep expanding and getting better. So these are strategies. We have to mix the strategies. We have to mix it because we ultimately want to encourage everyone to be able to speak up, to read, to articulate, to be able to stand in front of an audience if you're called upon, no matter the size of the audience, and no matter if it's a private audience or public, And at our school, the Kemet Maasai Academy, Marcus Garvey is a very great source of motivation and inspiration for us. And if you don't know, let me tell you, Marcus Garvey was an excellent orator, par excellence, right? So he was able to deliver speeches without a microphone, right? Without a microphone, thrusting the voice, throwing his voice across the heads of thousands of persons. Not only did they hear what he was saying, but they were deeply moved by what he was saying. So it's not just the voice, it's the combination of the passion that he was bringing with the message, the actual message, the way that he delivered it, the way that he pulled on their emotions. All of that is tied up in oratory. So, for example, if you are reading a story in class, encourage the students to take on the mood, take on the tone of the character based on what is happening in the story and what the characters are saying to each other. If it's a play that you're reading, I love to read plays in class, assign each student a character, and just have them read the play and encourage them to get into the character, to express the dialogue with emotion based on what is happening in the story. Because good oratory is able to influence. Good oratory is able to influence others. So you have a message, but you want to get the message across and you want persons to understand, and ultimately you want persons to be persuaded towards the point you are trying to make. And that's how powerful Marcus Garvey's oratory was. He was the leader of the biggest and most influential group of blacks ever in history, right? The UNIA, founded by Marcus Garvey and a few others, he was the head of this the greatest organization of blacks, and this encompassed blacks in the African diaspora, stretching across several countries. And much of this was achieved through Garvey's oratory, his skills of presentation, his skills of persuasion, and how he allowed that passion to come out in his voice, in his tone, in his delivery, the way his gesticulations, the way he looked at the crowd, everything together, right? And it's a very powerful skill to have. Many statesmen, or the most famous statesmen through history, were good orators, actually great orators. They were able to sway the crowd with their voice, with their gesticulations, their delivery. So as scholars, this would be a good thing for you to have. Sometimes you're going to be called upon to stand up and to speak, probably on behalf of others, or just representing yourself, expressing your opinion on something, stating your position. And you should do so with confidence, you should do so articulately, and so you need to practice. So if you are called upon in class to read, use that as an opportunity to practice your oratorical skills. Join the debating society, hone that skill of presenting your ideas with the aim of persuading others towards what you think. If you have been motivated by this video, I would encourage you to share it so that other students may be motivated. That's the whole point. We want everyone to be inspired and motivated and keep going towards your goals, and honing all those skills that you will need in order to do that. Please subscribe to the Kemet Maasai Academy, and remember, we not only have motivational videos for students, we also have mathematics videos from grade 4 to grade 11, which I think you should take advantage of and share with other students who can benefit from that, especially if you know that they are struggling in maths and they could use that boost, they could use that extra guidance. Share it with your friends, your neighbors, your classmates, your siblings, your cousins, anyone who you feel could use that help. So thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you in the next video.